The city has come out with a plan to make Boston more age-friendly. Based on comments from elder Bostonians, the plan takes on several challenges, whether in housing, transportation, or the need for social contact. To tell us about the plan is Boston's Elderly Affairs Commissioner, Emily Shea. Thank you very much for being with us.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me.
I want to start with how you got this plan put together, because you listened to the people who are affected.
Sure. This is a real community plan, and I think that's the thing we're the most proud of. We heard from over 4,000 people over the age of 50. In developing this plan, we had community processes and an community action planning committee to help develop the action steps that we're doing, and we heard from people in over 6 languages. So we're really making sure that we meet that this plan meets the needs of all of our older Boston residents.
Well, one thing I would not be surprised to hear is that a lot of these people are worried about the ability to stay where they live right now in Boston.
Certainly. And so I think a lot of people want to make sure that they can age within their neighborhood, keep the connections that they currently have. And so we have some things in this plan that address that. So things like making sure that we're helping people access all of the programs and services available for homeowners and renters, things like senior home repair, things like property tax programs to help you pay for property taxes, making sure that people know what programs are out there and how to access those programs.
Well, what about spreading the word about it? Because that's one of the things the plan identified as a challenge. And you have a lot of elders who were not born in this country. Maybe they don't know much English.
Yeah, I mean, those are really good points. And that, I think, is one of the highlights of this plan, something that we heard throughout our conversations with our residents. Being able to access things and understanding how to access those, whether they're programs, services, or even things to do in community, is really important to them. So we have a large piece of this plan that's dedicated to that. We'll be creating a citywide communication plan for older adults. And making sure that we're putting a lot of thought and energy into communicating with people in different ways so that they can understand all the information that's out there.
And this is going to be a challenge, because this is not like millennials with smartphones and they plug in this 311 all the time.
Right,
You've got to do some door knocking maybe too.
So we have a plan to door knock. We'll be out there in some of the areas with the highest concentrations of seniors, knocking on their doors, seeing what they need access to and helping them access that. Our communication plan will touch on a lot of different facets of the way to get the word out, right? So things like television and newspapers, along with social media, and simply calling people on the phone. So we'll have lots of different ways that lots of different tools we're using within our communication strategy.
You have some transportation concerns. That might be access to getting around, but also means getting around safely. What's going on here?
Exactly. So we are going to be working in coordination with our Vision Zero effort in the city. So that's the effort to reduce traffic fatalities and really looking at how we can create age-friendly walking spaces. We've been working on this already with our partner Walk Boston, funded through the Tufts Health Plan Foundation, and we'll be continuing that work, making spaces where we're looking at crosswalk timings, making sure people can get across the street, making sure that sidewalks are good for people to walk on, looking at places to rest, lighting in different areas so that near high concentrations of seniors, people are able to get around and to access what they need to access.
It sounds pretty much like what you have to do with the parks too, because if you want to encourage people to go out for a walk, they're going to need to sit for a while too, maybe.
Right. So we have a great program that we've piloted with parks that we're going to keep doing. Again, looking at what are the age-friendly and also dementia-friendly things that we need to create so that people of all ages can utilize parks. Older adults said that parks were one of our best assets in the city, and we want to make sure that those parks are good for everybody. So making sure that we're involving our older adult population in the planning process so that they can give input into park redesign is really important.
This is the first time I've been aware of a policy that also considers dementia to the extent that you do here. How do you address that as far as people getting around the city?
Sure, and I'm glad you mentioned that because as dementia friendly is an aspect of this age-friendly plan. So if you look at our report, we have dementia items throughout the report, things we're going to be working on over the next 3 years that address dementia. So making sure that people have access to supports and resources, making sure that we're going to be doing an interesting project with a lot of partners in the city around people with dementia who wander. We want to reduce the risk for that, making sure that if people wander and get lost, that we're able to then go out and intervene and make sure that they get the supports they need so that they're not as at risk.
Finally, one more question, and not exactly about the plan, but we have all these proposals from President Trump cutting food assistance, cutting fuel assistance, healthcare spending. It's got to be a concern for elders too.
Certainly, and I know that Mayor Walsh has certainly been out there speaking about this. It's definitely a concern. We want to make sure that people are able to access those basic benefits. It's very important that we have access to things like fuel assistance and food assistance. We have 1/3 of older adults in the city living only on Social Security, and they need to be able to access those benefits in order to live well in our city.